Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome to this presentation today. We are talking about your success for 2026. So, before we get started, I hope you have a pen and a piece of paper because, good, Lucia is nodding her head. Excellent. Because this is not about me talking your head off today. Awesome. Elaine's got hers ready to rock and roll. This is not about me talking your head off today. This is about you doing the work and actually preparing yourself for success. So, I'm going to take you through some exercises today and help you to really lock in for 2026. So I'm always sort of conflicted with which direction I go in, and I'm going to try and do an integration today of not letting you off the hook and telling you that it's all going to be sunshine, rainbows, bows, and unicorns because it freaking ain't. Uh, it's going to be messy, it's going to be chaotic, it's going to be confronting, it's going to be challenging, it's going to be all the things. But if you're willing to go there, if you're willing to lock in for 2026, and if you're willing to embrace change, if you're willing to embrace transformation, then this could be the most spectacular year you have ever experienced in your life. And as I was thinking about this presentation today, or it's this workshop today more than anything, it's thinking about why people don't succeed, why they don't achieve their goals. And it's because they don't make the right choices and decisions. They will choose in favor of their comfort zone rather than confronting their greatest fears. They will choose in favor of their past instead of choosing in favor of their future. Because if you choose in favor of your future, you've got to go where you haven't gone before. You've got to be willing to shed the old crap from the past, to shed the old identity. You've got to be willing to embrace the new version of you. And that is very difficult and challenging. I'm not going to mince words with you with that and hold your hand and sing Kumbaya to you and tell you that it's all going to be a piece of freaking cake because it isn't. Sometimes it's really shit. Sometimes you wonder, sometimes you just want to crawl back in your hole and want the whole world to disappear. Um, and but you're here today. You're showing up for yourself today. So I know that isn't you. So, what are we going to cover today? Let me just give you a brief overview. So, firstly, we're going to talk about what do you want with zero limits. So, it's putting aside, it's suspending disbelief and actually thinking about what it is that you really want. Where to focus your energy in relation to what it is that you want. All about simplifying. So if you want to expand and explode your wealth, your success, your freedom, anything that you want in life, then it's important that you simplify. Getting into alignment. This is one of the most crucial and important parts of your future success that you will ever it's something that you must focus on all the time. All the time. Am I in alignment? Am I in alignment? Am I in alignment? If I'm not in alignment, where am I out of alignment? How do I get back into alignment? So we're going to talk about that today. Reclaiming your power, mindset, baby. Transforming your identity. Ooh, that's a tough one. And creating your aligned action plan. So lock in for the next 60 minutes to 90 minutes because we're going to do some work. And then after we do some work, I'm going to open it up for discussions and actually maybe doing some mindset work. It depends on where you want to take the conversation and do maybe a little bit of coaching today to really help you to get that clarity that you need of what you're going to do to be able to create massive success moving forward. And I'm also going to take the liberty of just sharing with you during this call today my latest 6-week program. So, and I won't take too much of your time on that, but I just want to share with you the details of that program because if you want to go further with me, then that is a really good option. So, without further ado, I want you to grab your piece of paper. Let's get down to it. So, I'm going to ask you, suspend disbelief and think about what it is that you really want for 2026 and beyond. What do you really want? No limits, no yes buts, none of that. What do you really want? Write it down. I'm going to give you a few minutes on each of these things. What do you really want? Be brutally honest with yourself, knowing anything is possible. If a genie showed up right now and said, I'm going to grant you 3 wishes, what would you wish for? If you have more than 3 wishes, then keep writing. They get very, very clear. And as you review that list, I want you to look at that list seriously and go, ask yourself, is this really what I want? Or do I just think this is what I want? Because sometimes we get locked into what we think we should want instead of thinking about what we really want. Remember, nobody's going to see this, just you. There's no judgment, there's no criticism. What do you really want? Okay, so next we're going to focus on where to focus your energy. So, depending on what you want, you will need to think about what is the best use of my time, my energy, my resources, because all of those things are limited. And the thing that's limited the most is our time. However you spend your time, you're never going to get that back. So, where you need to focus your energy is start where you're at, use what you have, do what you can. I can see somebody's been here before. So it's really assessing where are you at? What are the resources that you have? And how are you going to leverage those resources? And your resources is anything from the knowledge that you have, the skill sets that you have, of course, the financial resources that you have, the technology that you have, and all of those things that combine that you can leverage those things to get the most optimum result as fast as possible. Because let's be honest, there's a gazillion things that you could do, a gazillion that may seem perfectly valid. But you need to assess them and go, well, is this really the best use of my time or is there something else? Because the vast majority of people will avoid the thing that they really need to do because it's uncomfortable, because they don't feel it's out of our comfort zone, because we don't feel competent at something. We will avoid feeling incompetent and do something that we feel competent at, even though we know that we've done it so many times before and it hasn't got the result that we want, we will go back to that thing because it's familiar, because it's comfortable. So, what are the decisions and the choices and the actions that you have to take that you have been avoiding that you know are going to stretch you? They're going to be uncomfortable AF. They're going to really challenge you. And it is being willing to feel incompetent and uncomfortable until you get to a point where starts to become familiar, where you start to build that competence. So, where do you feel is the most important place to focus your energy right now in relation to what it is that you really want and getting there as fast as possible? Maybe it's new skill sets that you need to develop. Maybe there's new knowledge that you need to acquire. Maybe it's just taking the knowledge that you have and the skill sets that you have and applying it to putting together a system or a formula or a strategy. And maybe that's where it's uncomfortable because it's like, oh my God, how do I do that? It's the other thing that stops people moving forward is because they don't know how. Forget that. Just use what you have, apply the knowledge and the skills that you have now. Identify what it is that you've been avoiding that you know is going to help you to move the needle. So, what are you going to do differently this year? What are you going to decide to do that you have been avoiding in the past? Now, here's something that you can go back and look at this in more depth later, by the way. But here's something that a lot of people don't focus on, and that is what are you not going to do this year? What are you going to stop doing this year that is an energy vampire, that is draining your time, that is not the best use of your time? Maybe it's something that you can eliminate altogether. Maybe it's something that you can delegate to somebody else. But something that is sucking your time, your energy, your resources, that you can stop doing now to be able to use that time more beneficially to get the result that you want. Okay, so next we're going to talk about the principle of simplification. So, human beings, we tend to overcomplicate everything. So, and this is where we can get caught in the weeds. It all becomes too hard. And whilst this is never going to be easy. The expansion, committing to the expansion, the growth, the development, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be challenging. There's going to be lots of failures, lots of setbacks along the way. But the more you complicate the process, the harder you're going to make it, the more you will set yourself up to fail, the less likely you are to push through to the other side of the discomfort, of the failures, of the challenges. So, whenever you're looking at your plans, your processes, the formulas, the actions that you're taking, look at it through the lens of, is there a simpler way that I can actually get the same result that I'm trying to accomplish with the knowledge that I have right now? Because we don't know what we don't know. And sometimes our brain deliberately overcomplicates things because it's a form of self-sabotage. The fear is so great to dive into the unknown, to risk failure, to confront our fears, that we will overcomplicate things to just to prove to ourselves that, see, it was too hard, I'm not capable, I can't do it. So everything that you do, look at it through the lens of, how can I simplify this? How can I make this a quicker and easier process to get the same result? Now, this is a fine line, because the people who succeed, the people who get the results that they want, they are willing to go where other people aren't. The people who succeed are willing to do what other people won't, so they can have what other people will never have. But by the same token, it's also important that you keep the simplification principle in mind. And maybe just having that focus, you might learn a simpler way as you try to do it the harder way. So there's an incredible man called Manoj Bhagavat, who has a website called Billions in Change. If you've never heard of the guy, if you've never looked at his website, I recommend you go and check it out. Billions in Change. So he was an Indian born in America, and he, serial entrepreneur, created something called 5 Hour Energy, which is a drink, went gangbusters, and also went global, I believe, and ended up becoming a billionaire. And he was taught by his parents strong sort of social principles. So he sort of went, oh, I don't need all this money. What am I going to do with it? So he decided to focus on three of the biggest problems in the world in third world countries. So clean water, sustainable food production, and clean energy production. And he didn't have the knowledge or the expertise to be able to tackle these problems. So what he did with his money was he built at this engineer's playground, basically, and he invited engineers to pitch their ideas to solve these problems. And then he would take the ones who they decided had the most chance of success. They would actually give them resources. They would give them the space and everything they needed to be able to develop these ideas. And one of the primary criteria, because it's in a third world country, one of the primary criteria was, it's got to be as simple as possible. The least moving parts, the least amount of engineering, and that was one of his primary criteria. So if you can apply these same principles, why do it the hardest way when there might be an easier way? So apply that principle to everything that you do. So, and this really is one of the most important, if not the most important part of this entire process, is your alignment. Your alignment energetically, your mindset alignment, your emotional alignment is so critical and so key to every single aspect. So, this is because you are an energetic being. You are energy, frequency, and vibration. You are also a powerful transmission station. So, every thought that you have, every belief that you have is actually contributing to the transmission that you send out. And that transmission that is sent out, it is received by the universe, by God, by source, by whatever it is that you believe in. And then the message that is received is what is then sent back. Now, if the message that you send out is not the same as the message that is received, and there's a very specific reason for that, then you're not going to get what you want. This is why most people think, well, I'm doing all the positive thinking and the positive affirmations. Why am I not getting what I want? It's because you're out of alignment. It's because the actual message that you're sending out is laced with fear, is laced with I'm not good enough, I don't deserve it, lack of self-worth, lack of self-confidence, lack of self-belief, lack of self-love. And all of that runs interference with the message that you're sending out to the universe. What the universe is hearing is, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve it. Okay, that's what you get. The universe is saying, what the universe is hearing is, no, it's too scary, it's not safe. Okay, you don't get what you're actually asking for because your subconscious is sending out the signal, but I don't really want that. So it's the dominant signal, the coherent signal that the universe receives that is what you get back. So if the message that you want to send out is incoherent to the universe, it cannot give you what you want. If it's scrambled, it cannot give you what you want. You're saying to yourself, this is what I want, and your subconscious is going, no, I don't. That's so scary. I don't want to go there. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve it. I'm not worthy. So this is your primary question. If I'm not getting what I want, where am I out of alignment? So alignment it's your fears, it's the mindset stuff. Alignment is also if you are trying to achieve something that is incongruent with your values, what's most important to you, because you cannot act consistently in a way that is inconsistent with your values. So if you're not getting the results that you want, where am I out of alignment? Internally, my mindset, my emotions, my beliefs. And this is why knowing yourself is so important. Knowing what your beliefs are, knowing what your core values are, knowing what you believe, knowing who you truly are. That self-awareness, that true deep understanding of who you truly are is so important. Because once you're in alignment, you will get into flow. Once you're congruent, things will become a lot easier. Not easy, but easier. It's the difference between jumping in the rapids and trying to paddle upstream against the rapids and turning around and going with the flow. And that can be really scary too, because the rapids is going to toss you around and feel like it's going to toss you out and all the kinds of things, but it'll be a lot easier that way than going the other way. And this is where it's so important that you are reclaiming your power. This is doing the mindset work. It's clearing the blocks to wealth. It's clearing the fears, the doubts, the limiting beliefs, the stories. Remembering that everything is a perception and everything is a story. And we can continue to tell ourselves these stories that give us comfort, or we can choose to look at our stories and go, is this story serving me? And that's confronting in itself because you need to shed the old to be able to embrace the new. So I'm going to ask you a question. What's slowing you down, standing in the way, and stopping you from achieving your goals, your visions, your dreams? What's slowing you down, standing in the way, and stopping you from going all in, from locking in this year? What else is slowing you down, standing in the way, and stopping you from going all in on your dreams this year? Another question. What are you most afraid of? Thinking about what it is that you really want, thinking about the actions that you're going to need to take, the things that we spoke about before. It's like, what are you procrastinating on? What have you been avoiding? What are you most afraid of? Okay, second last part, shifting your identity. This is one of the most difficult things you will ever do. And once you get good at challenging the old version of you and shedding what isn't serving you and embracing a new version of you, once this becomes a habit, like you are able to literally reinvent yourself, not just once a year, but daily, in that you are willing to be absolutely brutally honest with yourself and go, okay, this version of me is what got me here. I don't like here. I want to be somewhere else, as in, I want to be making progress. I want to be achieving more. I want to be more wealthy. You have to be willing, and this is where the most successful people in the world, they are reinventing themselves every day in various aspects and thinking about how can I grow? How can I expand? How can I be better? How can I do better? How can I achieve more? How can I help more people? So, what about the old version of you do you need to leave behind? What is it about you that's playing too small and why? What is it about you that is denying the power that you have within you and why? What version of you is choosing to stay stuck in the old paradigms that you say you don't want, but you're continuing to choose them anyway? Now, I should have clarified that your identity beliefs are the I am and the I am not statements. So they are things like I'm not smart enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm too young, I'm too old, I'm not educated enough, I I'm not I'm not strong enough. When you then start to adopt identity beliefs like I am infinitely powerful, I am unstoppable, I am unshakable, I am undeniable, I have everything inside of me that I need to achieve my goals and dreams. I am successful. I am wealthy. The thing is, if you adopt the identity belief that I am wealthy, then everything else shifts to meet your identity. This is where the lack and poverty consciousness compared to the wealth and prosperity consciousness. It's a consciousness. And you can, I don't care what your bank account looks like. I don't care what your past results are. You can either choose to be defined by your past, or you can decide that right now, because now nothing can define you unless you choose that it defines you. It's a choice. Not your past, not your trauma, not your limiting beliefs. Nothing can define you unless you choose to continue to adopt the identity. You can shed that identity right now. You can become a different person right now. That is very challenging and very confronting to the subconscious. So if you choose, I am wealthy, I am prosperous, I am abundant, then the universe will meet you there. Your results will reflect that if you continue to choose that. So, what identity are you going, not do you want to, but what identity are you committed to creating and choosing from this point forward that is supportive of what you say you want? What traits and characteristics are you committed to developing this year? Think of somebody who you admire who's super successful and think of the traits and characteristics that you can identify in them, that they exhibit, that they are the foundation of their success. Okay, and the final piece is to create a strategic action plan for moving forward. Now, you're not going to know all the details of the plan at this point, but I'm going to ask you right now to go back to the beginning of this exercise, these exercises, look at what it is that you really want this year, thinking about the things that you've been avoiding that you know you need to do to start the ball rolling, to build that momentum. Identify 5 things with the resources and everything that you have right now, the knowledge that you have right now. What are 5 things that you can do right now that are going to help you to make progress? And the intention is the 5 optimum things. And if you want to write down more, write down more. But just 5 is a very good place to start. 5 is 5 more than most people will ever consider. The reason people fail at their New Year's resolutions is because they have the idea, but they don't have a plan to back up the idea. They don't have a plan for when things get tough, for when the alarm goes off at 5 a.m. on the third morning and they're sore from going to their gym and they don't have that internal fortitude yet. They don't have a plan for how they're going to drag their sorry carcass out of bed to the gym that day instead of just hitting the snooze button because it's easier. Oh, I've done 2 days. I'm just going to reward myself and I'll just sleep in this morning. I'll go back tomorrow. Uh-huh. Okay, so hopefully you've got at least 5 things. Hopefully you've got some new awarenesses. And I'm going to very soon, I'm going to open up the lines and you can chat with me. We can work on some things and I can answer your questions. And before that, I'm going to talk about the money mindset, the money consciousness. Um, and there's some very specific things that once you understand about wealth consciousness and how wealth and money works on this planet, that will probably lock some things into place for you around why you may not be getting the results that you want with money. But firstly, I'm just going to take the liberty to take a few minutes, and I know there are a few people on the call who have already participated in my 6-week Thrive program. So, Thrive is a 6-week coaching intensive where I help you to get clarity on your vision, your mission, your purpose. I help you to put a plan together to monetize your genius and create a unique wealth formula. I also do a specific session on how to use AI to accelerate your wealth creation, to develop that strategic action plan that's going to help you to get from where you are to where you want to be as fast as possible. We work on mindset and money mindset. We work on clearing blocks to money, wealth, and abundance. So there are 2 weekly live calls during the 6 weeks. So it is an intensive. This is not for the faint-hearted. We do business strategy. We do mindset. There is an 85-page playbook which is actually all about self-discovery. So I ask you very specific questions that are designed to unlock new awareness within your subconscious mind, because it's your new awareness of what's holding you back. It's going to help you to make the most progress. So that's a foundational part. There you get 3 months access to, I've got to change that. That's actually now the Wealthy Woo Woo Warriors community. It was the Online Business Academy, but you get 3 months access to that. That's $47 a month usually. You get specific training in there on how to build an online business, and beyond the 2 coaching calls a week, there are 2 coaching calls a month in that community. And you can ask me questions at any time in there. There are exclusive downloads in there as well for free as part of the community. So in week 1, we talk about knowing thyself, getting to know your gifts, your talents, your core genius, your skills. And then we look at defining your soul mission, monetizing your genius, building that unstoppable mindset. The mindset thing goes right throughout the whole 6 weeks, but that week in particular is completely dedicated to mindset. We look at designing your success framework, and week 6, we create your unique strategic action plan moving forward. And then there's a bonus call. So there's a 13th call, which is all about AI and how to use AI to amplify and accelerate your success. And from the feedback that I got throughout the people were most excited about the AI training, because it is a freaking game changer. I'm not an AI expert, but I use AI within my business, and man, it is just mind-blowing what you can do with AI. So for the first 10 members who join, it's coming up not next week, but the week after, you get all of that. Plus you get a personal one-on-one breakthrough session with me. I normally don't do these, but I'm giving those to the first 10 people who join. 12 months access to the Wealthy Woo Woo Warriors community. And that's worth $564 on its own. So with those bonuses, that's a fast action bonus for people. We start Sunday the 11th of January in the US and Monday the 12th of January. The times will be between, I think it's 2 p.m. and no, it's 3 p.m., 3, 4, 5, 6 in the United States. So the same time as today, basically. And 9 a.m. Brisbane time, 10 a.m. Sydney time in Australia. So currently, I have a huge discount on this. It's $4.97 US for you to join. And make no mistake, if you are willing to show up and go all in, this will be transformational for you. And I'm also going to say that if you decide to join and then within the first 2 weeks of the program, you know what, this isn't for me, then I will give you all of your money back. So if you show up and you go all in and you decide it's not for you, then I'm happy to, because I just want happy people in my programs. So there's my 2-week, 14-day money back guarantee once the program starts. So there you go. That's my Thrive program. So now I've spoken about that. Oh, if you would like to actually explore that, then you can go to that URL. So created a tiny URL because it's just easier. tinyurl.com, thrive in 2026. So you can go and check that out, or you can email me if you've got any questions, or you can actually use that as a question today if you want. So who's got questions? Who's got challenges on what we've worked through so far today? Don't be shy. Whose brain's exploding? Come on, I'm here for you. Yes, Lucia. Beautiful Lucia.
Margarita.
Hey, how you doing?
Very well, thank you. How about you?
I'm awesome. I am so rocking 2026.
I found it fantastic. The way you took us through the exercises, and it made me think and really say, okay, what do I really need to do? You're coming up with Thrive, and again, I said, I want more. Because
That's a good sign.
yeah, because what I was able to achieve and what you made me do, I said, woohoo, okay.
All right. So, okay. So, for people who have already done Thrive and you would like to go again, oh my God, you are gluttons for punishment. I will give you a special deal. So, I will send out a special deal for anybody who wants to repeat and rejoin the Thrive 6 week program. So, watch your inbox.
Question.
Yes.
Would it, um, how would you then go through it? Is it just a layer deeper,
Yeah.
or is it in addition to the whole or what we put together?
Well, as you know, this is all a journey. So, um, if you go through some of the questions again, you'll find you will go deeper. You will find new discoveries. I mean, all the exercises that I give you, if you go back and repeat them in a week's time or a month's time, you will have new understandings, new discoveries. Why is that? Because you are a new person. It's a bit like, when you read a book and you read it one time and then uh, you might decide 6 months later or 12 months later to read it again and you read it and go, oh my God, I don't remember that. Was that in there before? Is this a whole new book? Like there seems to be a whole chapter that I missed last time. Why did I not see this? You're seeing it because you're seeing it as the new version of you, not the old version of you. So
Okay.
it's the same for the program. And of course, you will have made more progress because of you've already been through it. So you'll have new challenges that I can work with you.
Oh,
You'll have more
good
questions
idea.
that I can work through with you. I mean, one of the most valuable parts of these coaching programs is that I am working with you personally no matter where you're at. So you can ask me more questions. We can continue to strategize and expand on what you've already achieved through the first Thrive program. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very good. You're very welcome. Any questions on what we've been through today? Anything that really broke your brain that you struggled with or okay, super cool. Anybody else has questions on what we went through today or things I just want help with? Come on, people. I'm here to get you the breakthrough that you need. What do you want? What do you need? Okay, Arlene.
Not so much help, but it was funny. I was just I had a look at my desk drawer that I'm sitting beside, and I found this thing that I've written out. I'm assuming it's one of our previous chats. I recognize that I am out of alignment when I fear about our future. I choose to surrender the outcome now. Thank you, universe, for revealing what is of the highest good for all. And that's the way you find in the drawer.
Yep. It's interesting going back and seeing those old notes, isn't it?
Yes, yes. And one too, I have a book full of them. Probably need to read them more often. It's probably the key. But thank you for today. It's been awesome. It's just yeah, a lot to think about. I think that's maybe what we're all up to. We're
Processing.
yeah,
What is it that you
processing.
really
Yes.
want? What is it that you really want, Arlene? Dare to declare it now on the call.
I want financial freedom, abundance, health, sleep, balance, peace, and joy.
Okay. So
And I've been
let's,
trying to manifest $10 million for a little while.
okay. All right. So the most important thing is the $10 million is like, it could be the 5-year goal. Now it's important to make progress. So I'm going to challenge you and ask you, what does freedom look like to you? Specifically, what does freedom look like to you?
Look, I mean, lack of stress. I have a very stressful job. I work long hours. I have to fight the traffic on the M1 every day. So, yeah, freedom means none of the
None of
above.
that.
Getting up when I want, doing what I want, going where I want, just having choices. Whereas at the moment, there's no choice. You just go to work, come home, cook dinner, go to bed, go home. It's just a day in, day out. I'm on 2 weeks holiday at the moment, so that's none of my fair.
Okay, and I know that you actually work in a space that you actually enjoy, at least
Yeah,
the
I do
environment
love
that
what I
you're
do.
in and
Yeah.
the work that you do. So you've got that nailed down. And now it's looking at, okay, this is what I have and this is what I don't want. What do I want instead? What parts of what I do now do I love and why do I love it? Now, how can I recreate that with the time freedom and the location freedom, with being able to do what I want when I want? And what does that look like? How do I want to spend my days instead? Do I want to spend it going to the beach and walking on the beach with my puppy dog? Do I want to
Hang out with
spend
the
it
yeah.
hanging out with the grandkids and thinking about and visualizing and creating that future in your mind? Because once you make that the dominant future that you are being drawn toward, it will draw you forward. It will give you the opportunities. It will give you the knowledge and present to you the learnings that you need to be able to get there. And thinking about what are the hard choices that I can make now. They're going to make my life easier in future, to help me to achieve this dream and not put it off for another year. And I know that you've tried various things. I know that you and Barry, you had your own business and you worked damned hard, and that didn't exactly work out because things change and things evolve and
Mm.
small businesses
And then
get
another online business I started, Facebook shut my Facebook page down. So then I didn't have a business anymore.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
and this is coming back to, okay, where am I out of alignment? Where am I not acknowledging that I'm out of alignment? And it's those recognitions and awarenesses that will catapult you forward. Those things that you've been afraid to face and confront in years past, that once you face them and confront them, are going to totally launch you into a new trajectory, a new you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I need. I need one of those.
Okay. So you've
Thank
got this,
you.
and things can change so fast, Arlene. And I know that you've got the tenacity and the commitment, and you've got the drive. It's what you apply that to that is really important moving forward. And even with
Yeah.
the lack of time that you have, it's using the time that you do have wisely.
Yes.
Okay, super cool. Any questions that you have for me?
I can't think so. I still, yeah. Probably want to read through my notes a few more times, but no, but thank you.
Okay, you're very welcome. All right,
Appreciate
thank you,
you.
Eileen. So, anybody who has any questions, there is one thing that I do want to cover, and that is the wealth consciousness, the wealth and prosperity and abundance consciousness. And there's a thing in our world that it can feel quite it feels unfair. Our financial system feels grossly unfair. It seems like those who are not necessarily very nice people, as far as we can see, tend to win a lot more than the nice people, the people who are doing good things in the world, the people who are the change makers. It's not that there aren't change makers out there who aren't doing very, very well for themselves, but there seems to be a massive imbalance. And it's like, well, what is that? Like, why do people who do bad things get rewarded financially and people who are doing good things seem to struggle? It's because money doesn't have a conscience. Because you're a good person, it makes sense that good people would be rewarded above bad people. But that is not the nature of the world and the way it works, at least not at this point in time. And you can condemn it, you can rail against it, you can be frustrated with it all you like, but unless you learn to accept it and understand the mechanics of wealth and who it gravitates to and why, the reason some people who do bad things seem to get rewarded financially is because their focus is more money and they're not interfering with it. They're not getting in their own way. They're not concerned about what other people think about them. They're not concerned about, oh, but if I do this thing, will somebody get hurt? They're not concerned about the consequences of their actions. They don't give a shit about any of that stuff. So they're not interfering with the I'm going to make more money focus. They decide I'm going to make more money. I'm going to do whatever it takes, and nothing interferes with that. People can hate them. They don't care. People can criticize them. They don't care. People can get hurt in the process. They don't care. Totally unfair. Totally not the world we want to live in. But until you recognize that, and that doesn't mean that you have to be a bad person to get the outcome that you want. What it means is that you need to stop interfering with the primary intention of making more money. Because the universe will organize itself around your primary intention. And that is to do with your subconscious. And if your subconscious's intention is to keep you safe and it perceives that it's not safe to be wealthy, that it's not safe to be successful, that it's not safe to be in the limelight, to stand out, to shine. And let's face it, the more you shine, the more haters you're going to get. It is what it is. And unless you allow them to infect your brain, then whatever they say and do doesn't matter. It's inconsequential. Have the courage to be disliked. Have the courage to be criticized. Have the courage to fail your way forward. Have the courage to face your haters and say, excuse me, but fuck you. So it's having that courage, that tenacity, that resilience, and deciding that you being wealthy and developing a wealth consciousness is more important than what other people think of you. It's more important than your fears, your doubts, your limiting beliefs, your lack of self-worth. That the wealth that you create is going to make such a positive impact in the world that your impact in the world is more important than your comfort zone. So your wealth consciousness, wealth and money will respond to that coherent signal of that identity that I am abundant, I am wealthy, I am worth it. I deserve it. I am good enough. I am bigger than any problem or challenge I will ever face. Because if you're afraid of the challenges that you're going to face and you're avoiding them, then you're never going to make progress. So when you adopt that identity of I am bigger than any problem or challenge I will ever face, then it doesn't matter what challenge comes at you, you know you will overcome it. And if you look at some of the most successful people in the world, what is the biggest trait or the most influential skill that they have developed is the ability to solve problems. So once you get good at solving problems, and that's like going to the gym and flexing those muscles and you know what happens when you're working out and the next day your muscles get really sore? Do you understand why they get sore? They get sore because you pushed a weight that you're not used to pushing, a heavier weight. The muscles literally tear. In order to grow, those muscle fibers tear and repair. And when they repair, they're bigger, they're stronger, they're more resilient, they're more powerful. And this is the same thing for everything that you do. Flex those muscles, solve more problems. Know that there is a solution to every single problem. You just got to find it. And the more you won't be given a better quality problem until you solve the ones that you've already got. And if you look at the most successful people in the world, they are solving problems so fast every day, and so many problems it would make your head spin. The kind of problems that you are incapable of solving now, and you would never be given because you're not capable of them, because you haven't flexed that muscle. Elon Musk, I keep referring to him, but he runs 5 multi-billion-dollar companies. He could never have done that when he was at university or fresh out of college. He has become that because of the amount of problems he has solved along the way. So that is a skill set you must dedicate to developing. And then the whole money thing, it's like, again, it comes back to alignment. What fear, what doubt, what limiting belief am I holding on to that is stopping me from having better results with money, from attracting more money, from having the wealth that I desire? Fall in love with the process of success. Fall in love with the becoming. You are always becoming. Fall in love with the expansion, fall in love with the growth, fall in love with the discomfort, fall in love with the feeling incompetent, fall in love with the failure. Fall in love with the whole process, because that part, as long as you are growing and learning and developing and being more and expanding and having more impact and bringing in more income, that never changes. The constant expansion and challenging yourself and the discomfort never changes. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. So I do hope you have gotten plenty out of today. I meant to mention this in the beginning. I'm going to put this up onto YouTube as a publicly available uh, video. So if you don't want to be in because I didn't tell you that before, if if you don't want to be in the video, then let me know and I will cut anything out that I need to cut out. So I will give you a day to get back to me on that if that's uncomfortable for you. But you guys are so amazing. Like, you're showing up for yourself. It's the beginning of the year. You're showing up for yourself. You know, I know that that people have life, people have commitments. But out of the thousands of people that I have on my email list, my community, you are the guys who showed up today. That says something about you. Exactly. And for those who are watching the replay, same thing applies. You got to the end of it. That says a lot about you. So I love you loads. You are capable of achieving anything you put your mind to. Never forget that. I look forward to seeing you on another presentation, maybe in the Thrive program. Love you loads. Here's to a smashing 2026. Bye.